Today I'm going to review Bad Batch Season 1, Episode 9, Bounty Lost. Then I'm going to go over the questions, will Nayla C sacrifice herself for Omega? And will Omega meet Boba Fett? And finally I'll go over Clone Force 99's overall mission. I'm Nate, this is my YouTube channel. If you like the content in today's video, make sure to hit the like button or leave a comment. There will be spoilers, so if you haven't seen the episode yet, be aware. Episode 9 was released on June 25th, 2021 on Disney+. In this episode, Bad Batch chases after Cad Bane to get Omega back. On board Bane's ship, Omega plots her escape. When Bane arrives on Bora Vio to hand over Omega to the Kaminoans, Fennec Shand interrupts his plan and attempts to take the bounty. In the ensuing battle, Omega attempts her escape. The episode is directed by Brad Rau and Nathaniel Villanueva. Rau is a storyboard artist who's directed 5 episodes of Star Wars Rebels, 3 episodes of Star Wars Forces of Destiny, 7 episodes of Star Wars Resistance, and now 1 episode of Bad Batch. He's also an executive producer for Bad Batch. Villanueva is also a storyboard artist, and he's directed 4 episodes of Clone Wars Season 7, and now 4 episodes of Bad Batch. The episode was written by Matt Michnovitz. He was a staff writer for the TV series 24. He also wrote 11 episodes of Clone Wars, 11 episodes of Rebels, the script for the video game Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, and now 2 episodes of Bad Batch. As far as the character development, this episode belongs to Omega. She's on her own, far away from any immediate help the guys can provide her. The things to note here is that she uses many of the skills she has learned from the Bad Batch throughout the season. She's no Mary Sue though. Everything she does she learned the hard way. She still struggles the entire way, so it's not an easy victory. The main thing she learns in this episode is that her view of home is not the same anymore. This is a huge step in her growth because it defines her as having clearly changed as a person. When it comes to Fennec Shand, we find out that she is working for Nayla C. In my analysis of Episode 4, I suspected that Fennec Shand might have cybernetics already a part of her. In this episode, particularly with the fight between her and Cad Bane, I suspect the same thing. Bane knows who she is, and he warns her that she doesn't have the skills to take him on, but she takes him on anyway and holds her own. Watching this episode, I think she's definitely cybernetic. I actually feel stronger about it too. Wherever she got her training, I think she has some cybernetic parts that have made her capable of taking on Bane. In the scene where the guys rescue Omega and Wrecker pulls her into the Havoc Marauder, after Wrecker sets her down, he gives Omega a big hug. This is huge. Up until now, the guys have greeted friends with handshakes or nods or other ways that guys often show affection other than hugging. Of all 5 members of Bad Batch, which include Echo and Crosshair, Wrecker has progressed the most in terms of showing compassion and affection. It's cliche, but he's the big brute with the soft heart. We watched all of this development, and it's Omega's doing. Her femininity is forcing the guys to show their compassion in ways soldiers don't. They've all been forced to show concern for Omega, and at this point, Wrecker has come the farthest. Omega has a heart for Hunter though. She sees the other guys as brothers, but she sees Hunter as a father, and in this moment she wants a dad. She leans into Hunter to get an embrace from him as well, but she doesn't get one because Hunter isn't ready yet. He's growing emotionally because of Omega, but he's got a long way to go. I suspect that in the last episode of the season, he will give her a hug and it will be the moment when both realize what they mean to each other. The themes in this episode were hard for me to pick up, but the one that I did see is that once you leave home, you'll never see it the same way again. We all grow up and leave home, most of us do anyway, and when we explore the world, we find that the home we grew up in looks different. We see it through a different lens. Growing up, we saw home through the lens of growing up, whether that was good or bad. As we go through life, we start to see home through the lens of our experiences away from home. We see this going on with Omega. When we first met her in Episode 1, she was somewhat naive, but fascinated with the Bad Batch. Her first jump to hyperspace was enchanting, and her first mission in Episode 3 was successful. But as each episode went by and different things happened, she gained a new experience that showed her the beauty of the galaxy as well as the horror of it, and both were more than Kamino had to offer. Until now, she hadn't had any experiences that forced her to look back at home. We can get a glimpse through this lens of hers when she lands on Bora Vio and escapes Cad Bane's ship. She doesn't know where she is. It looks like Topoka City on Kamino where she grew up, but it's run down, rusty, cloudy, empty, and dangerous. Inside she finds some cloning tubes like the ones on Kamino, but these are nasty and the beings inside are dead. Essentially, she's seen Kamino for what it is, a dangerous, treacherous place where there are allies, enemies, and neutral parties in which she must navigate. We see the realization of this in her when she joins Hunter in the cockpit in the final scene. She doesn't want to be an experiment. She doesn't want to go back home to Kamino. Through this experience, Omega has taken a huge step of growth and gotten a better understanding of herself. This is a part of mental and emotional growth we go through as human beings. Being able to look back at home and celebrate the joys it brought, as well as face the realities you were too naive to see, is a large step in figuring out who you are. As far as the question of Bad Batch's overall mission, the only one that we see here is will Clone Force 99 save their brothers? The abandoned cloning facility on Borovio is a look under the hood at what the end result could be for the clones, and it doesn't look good. Words like abandonment, neglect, and death come to mind. This episode shows us where the clones are headed in the series if Bad Batch doesn't do something for them. So as far as the questions we had at the beginning, will Nayla C sacrifice herself for Omega? I think it's pretty clear the only option for Nayla C is to sacrifice herself. Lama Su is onto her, and once he finds out that another bounty hunter foiled the trade between Tanwi and Cad Bane, he has no one else to suspect than Nayla C. There's another option though. At the end of this episode, Hunter promises Omega that she'll never have to go back to Kamino, which pretty much means that they're going back to Kamino. At this point, the only reason why they would go back though is to save Nayla C. The other question is whether Omega and Boba Fett will meet. I think it's highly likely that they will meet face to face, but I don't think it's going to be a loving brother-sister moment that some people are suspecting it to be. Omega and Boba have different demeanors. They are two sides to the same coin. If and when they meet, I think it's not going to go well. I don't think Omega is on the path of becoming a bounty hunter like Boba Fett. I'm not sure what her future holds, but I don't think that's what it's going to be. I do think that Dave Filoni is setting us up for a live-action Omega appearing in the book of Boba Fett, though. Overall, I thought this episode was great in many ways. The creative elements were on point, and the dialogue was tight. The episode developed Omega's character in a big way, as she saw a glimpse into the reality of her home on Kamino, and showed her mettle and ability to use the skills she's been learning. That's all I have for today. If you like the content in today's video, make sure to hit the like button, leave a comment, or subscribe. Thanks for watching.